Hello, everybody. I'm sorry for the few minutes delay, but I've been trying to get a better bit rate. Let me turn this down. And please let me know if you have any issues hearing me, as I am not, the YouTube doesn't give me any kind of feedback when it comes to, I'm trying to see how it looks like. Okay. YouTube doesn't give me any kind of feedback as into if my video, audio, whatever, except for, oh, your stream is okay. But hi, Chris. Hi, Zenta. It says it's okay. It's not good. The first time I tried to connect, it was telling me it's good. And now I cannot get a better. But well, it's Saturday. Hi, Diana. Hi, Cherry. Hi, Dee. Hi, Dawn. So what are we going to talk about this morning? As you can see, hi, Linda and Sanya. I got the title of this, is it spring or is it winter? Because it's supposed to be March. Well, of course, we are still a few weeks away from the spring equinox. But I don't know how it is where you are, but where I am, it's not spring, definitely not spring. We are expecting another Arctic front to come over to visit us, and apparently this one is going to bring the coldest air. Hi, Dodo. Yeah, I don't worry about your weather. Your weather is gorgeous. But this Arctic front is supposed to bring the worst cold. Hi, Irina. And we are supposed to have like 9 degrees tomorrow night, 8 degrees with minus wind chills. Saskia, how's in Holland? Bonjour, Catherine. Eman. Yeah, we are a lot of us this morning. So, besides the weather, as I said, hi, Diana, it's rainy, but you're in California. You're okay. Hi, Sherry. Texas, I don't know how Texas would be. But as I said, I had promised to make flowers after Valentine's Day is over. But honestly, I'm looking out the window and I'm like, flowers? I'm actually a little bit concerned because last week we had some very nice weather and then my roses started budding. So with the deep freeze that's coming now, I'm a little bit worried. I know that I'm going to probably have to trim them even lower to make sure that I'm going to get any kind of flowers this summer. So, what about other things? Yeah, we are going to make roses. Tomorrow we will do some pieces of jewelry with pansies. I've already had quite a good number of pansies already baked, so all they need is to be placed. Um, and we'll see how many pieces we can do. Another thing that I was wondering about doing, because I got so many messages and comments and stuff about the Morning Glory pendant, and questions if I'm going to make other pieces with the Morning Glory. So I was actually thinking of making a necklace, a bib necklace with Morning Glories. Whisper is just visiting. A poor little guy, his arthritis is flaring up because of the weather coming, and he's got a thing. He likes his tushy to be rubbed, not scratched, rubbed. I think it does good for his, he probably has arthritis in his hips. I hope it's arthritis, not meds. But he's here with his mama, my little dear. Hi, Linda. Hi, Tia Lisa. Yeah, I have so many roses that I'd probably spend a fortune on bubble plastic. But no, I have them. I actually made at one point people who are friends with me on Facebook. I do have a whole album of photos showing how to protect your roses for winter. And that is, you cut them down usually in fall, and then I just get chicken wire net, but the small netting, and I make cylinders out of that, and then I fill the cylinder around the roses, of course, and then I fill the cylinders with dry leaves. And what does it do? The netting makes it so even if it's a lot of wind, the leaves will still stay put. But that still doesn't help when you have the climbing roses and they are like 6 foot tall and they start budding. So, yeah, no, we're gonna have some snow here tomorrow. What worries me, and I did put a note in tomorrow's live, is that starting this afternoon and tonight, we are supposed to have freezing rain, freezing drizzle. And a lot of times when we have that, there's the danger of losing power. So if tomorrow you see that in like 10 minutes I didn't start the live, that means I lost power, which would be really bad, of course, because no power means no heat in the house. And with a low of 9 tomorrow night, that wouldn't be pleasant now, would it? Okay, I rubbed your tushy enough. Can you go, please? Go lay down. Go lay down. No, he wants his tushy rub. That's the deal. We cannot change the deal. uh, anyway, so talking about flowers and what we are going to do with flowers. Yes, I will make more flowers. Um, I know that I got all kinds of requests like nasturtiums, bellflowers. I'm trying to remember. Poppies, more roses. Um, I'm still trying to remember. If any of you sent me any requests, say it again, because I'm going to go through all my comments and all my messages and write them down and make a list. Of course, I'm not going to be able to do all of them in spring, but some of them will go over in over summer. But I will also make a lot of flower canes. um, and yes, there were special hyacinths. Yeah, but those hyacinths would be kind of not necessarily difficult, not in the terms that I couldn't do a cane with hyacinths, but it would be really a masterclass cane. Um, I will definitely do more flower canes, including the zinnias. A lot of you have asked me about zinnias, about daisies, lilies. I already have a couple canes done, but I didn't do tutorials on them. But yeah, we'll do lilies as well. I was just thinking, as the stuff starts blooming in my yard, to kind of do, at least for the things that I do have growing in my garden, as they start blooming, to do the flowers as well. And then also go outside and tape a little bit around the garden and with the holding the flower near the real flower. And I'm sorry for the bad hair day. But what I did, I found at my local Winco, they had on clearance for 50 cents a piece. There are these little L'Oreal temporary colors that are just spray. And I got a few and I tried them this morning. So, of course, I had to wash my hair after that. And I didn't have time to fix it. And my hair after I had chemo has a life of its own. I have days in which I look like a mushroom if I don't take the time to get it nice and straight, it would go prink. So let me see. Let me catch on. Yeah, but unfortunately, mine, as I said, my hair makes it that I have more bad hair days than good hair days. Anyway, I am trying really hard to catch up, but there is a silver lining to all of this, and I got good news about. Um, Even if it might take about 2 or even 3 months before things start getting good. As I have said before, finally they figured out what tests they were supposed to do to actually see that I am hypothyroid. And the thing is that I have Graves' disease, and years ago, before I had cancer, I was so severely hyperthyroid. Actually, had two thyroid storms. A thyroid storm is when your thyroid just dumps a whole bunch of thyroid hormone in your blood. Um, Hypothyroidism, not enough thyroid hormone, makes you sluggish, gives you fatigue, makes you gain weight, and all that, and some brain fog and stuff. But hyperthyroid is actually life threatening because your body just lives on fast forward. And of course, the higher the degree of hyperthyroidism, the worse it is. And no matter how much you eat, you lose weight, all your organs work in fast mode. And I know that with the last thyroid storm I had, I got in the ER. My heart rate was 203 beats per minute. And they actually gave me those adenosine shots that make your heart stop so that they could restart it with the paddles to get it into a normal rhythm. And those hurt. It's like, they cause you to have a heart attack. But my heart just went down to 50 and then it started again. And they were afraid because it was over an hour. They were afraid that my heart would just explode. But fortunately, I went past that and I didn't even have heart damage. That was awesome. Um, but so I had, because I couldn't have, as great disease, what it does, your own antibodies start attacking your thyroid and also the muscles around your eye. But the thyroid responds by making more, growing and making more thyroid hormone. And but they couldn't do surgery to remove my thyroid because it all was all wrapped around my vocal box. So there was a high danger that I would lose my voice. So I had what's called radioactive iodine ablation, because thyroid kind of gets all the iodine in your body. So they give you a shot with radioactive iodine, and it goes all in your thyroid and slowly kills your thyroid. But my thyroid was so feisty that it didn't die. It took several years to get to normal. And then I started experiencing hypothyroid um, symptoms. And they just kept doing the blood test and telling me, oh no, your thyroid is normal, until a doctor had the good idea to check for another thyroid level, the T3. And that's when they figured out that, yeah, you are hypothyroid. So that would explain partially, it would explain the increase in my fatigue. But finally, I saw an endocrinologist and I started the day before yesterday the treatment. Now, as I said, it might take 2 or 3 months before everything gets back to normal, but it will. So finally, hopefully, I'll be able to catch up with everything that uh, I did. Oh, goodness. That's a lot of red I put on my. Maybe I have no, my camera has got too much color. Let me check it. It's too much color. I don't like that. Anyway, what is in plan besides the, let me check this. Yeah, no, this looks more normal. This looks more natural. um, what else is? I need to get two more things for storing. One more of those rolling carts. If you don't have one of those, I fully recommend you to get one. They are around $40. But be very careful. I think that I did put one in my Amazon influencer store. Let me check real quick. Uh, because there are several and several kinds like that. And of course, they come with a different number of tiers, like with 3, 4, 5. The one that I got is a 5. But the main thing is that some have some wire type rack, but the ones like this, the shelves are made out of wire mesh. So that means that even if you have small stuff, it's not going to fall through the spaces between the wire. Okay, where's my organizers thing? I'm just trying to make sure that I put it in. There we go. Yes, it is there. Uh, you will be able to find it there. Another thing that I absolutely loved about it is how easy it is to put it together. Especially having so many hand issues. Sometimes it's a real hassle to put stuff together. And as you know, most of the stuff that you buy online, you have to put it together by yourself. But with these, you just need, and once you put one of the shelves, it's fine. You have the two sides, and then the shelves themselves have some kind of hook. And you just hook them and they stay together. They are on wheels, so you can move them around. So that's all I need. I need to get another one of those because I have some chest of drawers that I also got on Amazon almost 2 years ago. The problem is that, of course, with my budget, I had to go to buy the cheap ones, and the drawer bottom starts falling. I cannot put a lot of stuff in there. Um, so I really need to get one more of those, and then I'm going to have to get. And I found a very interesting. They call it baker's rack. Hi, Judy, but it's not really a baker's rack. It's more something with shelves and with a space where I can put my legs under to do the sanding station in the kitchen, because right now I have an old metal computer desk. The computer desk that I was using in the very beginning when I first opened the channel. Um, so that is with organization. Then another thing that I need to catch up with, and I know that a lot of you have asked me about it, is to take photos of the canes I have and put them up in the store for sale, because I got many requests from you about selling my canes. Um, and I promise I will start working on that and start getting onto that. And at least for a while, I'll probably make more canes in the YouTube tutorials. As I said, I'm working on a couple for gemstones, and those will come up soon. Now, on the 12th this month is going to be my birthday, and I'm going to be 58, which I don't cannot wrap my mind around. And then the next day I go start again shots in my cervical spine. Yay. I mean, I know it's a very horrible less procedure, but half of the time it brings me a lot of relief, which is what we all want. So I do have quite a bit of a good outlook right now. and hopefully I'll be able to do more. Now, I'm going to go through a small series of little tips that I got questions about. Um, one of them was, what varnishes do you use? Let me get in my inbox because I remember the beginning of it. But let me get in my inbox so I can tell you exactly the. Uh, okay. I have to strengthen one more time the idea that if it is something that another artist sells a tutorial of, I am not going to make a tutorial, free tutorial, and I am not going to give you hints or explanations or directions because I do not think that that is a good thing. Yes, I do intend. I have a whole series. Remember that I started the series for beginners. And because of the whole fatigue thing, I wasn't able to do much on that. But I have a full series planned. I mean, I started with the how do you which clay to pick and how to pick it. Then I know that I did a conditioning about Pardo and how to get not to get plaquing in translucent, but in the series I'm going to make one on conditioning. And the thing is that I want to be very exhaustive. I mean, I want to cover pretty much as many bases as I get. Like when it comes to conditioning, I want to show how to condition the various brands, because each of the brands is a little bit different, a little bit. They do have a basic thing on how to condition, but it's better to approach some of the brands a little bit differently. Like you all know, the Pardo, who has to be conditioned in very, very thin sheets. Then what to use to soften, how to condition with the pasta machine, and how to condition by hand. Because even with the pasta machine, there are ways in which you can hurry up the conditioning. Um, and then, of course, how to store your clay, how to make the beads, how to sand, how to polish, how to all kinds of things. And talking about tools, how to, when you start, how to slowly get your budget to get everything that you need. But until you have money to buy what you need, excuse me, how to, what to use, you know, in the meantime. And things like this. And a lot of little tips on how to save money by buying various things, because you know, there, you don't realize when you start, the people who have done claying for a while do know very well that when you start adding up all the little things that you need to make stuff, it easily starts adding up to thousands of dollars. And out of that, how you can reduce the costs by buying stuff that is equally valid without carrying the added cost of brand or the added cost of being for polymer clay. Just to give you an example, the same round cutters or hard cutters, or you name it, that you find in a craft store in the polymer clay section will cost not necessarily twice, but almost twice, and sometimes more than twice, The amount of money that you find the same freaking exact cutters in the sugarcraft and fondant thing. So, but when you don't know, when you're a beginner, you're going to go, happily directly to the polymer clay thing. You won't know until later that, hey, you can find a whole bunch of stuff in the fondant section that's going to be cheaper. And you find it after you already spent a whole bunch of money on polymer clay stuff. And, things like this. Um, and many many other things. And as I said, I'm going to start remaking the tutorials I made at the very beginning of the channel, because I did not have a very good equipment at the time. And as time went by, and I had so much support from all of you, and I had people who actually bought for me uh, the some of the equipment that I have now. Like I got a new web camera and all kinds of other things. So now I can do the same subjects on the same things, but with a much better equipment. So the video will look much better and it will be much easier to understand. And not only when it comes to equipment, but for example, I got a comment, if I don't know how many of you remember, but in the beginnings of the channel, I made the coleus leaf cane. And because at the time I had the highest I could afford internet speed, which was about 10 megabytes per second, but with an upload rate of 1 megabyte per second. So it was about an hour. It was taking about an hour for every 3 or 4 minutes of video. So if I had a video that was 25 minutes, it was like 8 hours uploading. So, hi, June. So, what I was doing at the time, I was trying to speed up certain areas of the video, because YouTube has a little setting, a little gear, and you can reduce the speed you're watching the video at. But on some devices, excuse me, on some devices, like I don't know if on iPhones or whatever, on some things that little gear doesn't show up. So I got a lot of, and even recently, requests of maybe redoing some of these videos on a lower speed. So yes, I fully intend doing that. But as I said, slowly, slowly, as hopefully I'll be getting back with my normal activity level without narcolepsing every hour or so. Okay, Judy. Hi, Elaine. Um, so yeah, let me go back to the questions. Okay. Okay, another question was a lot of the things that I see on your Amazon store or at PolyClay Play, I see that you can buy at AliExpress much cheaper. Absolutely. Absolutely. The only thing that you need to be aware of is number one, it's going to take for freaking ever to get them. I mean, I'm buying from AliExpress. And the way it usually goes is I would get some stuff from AliExpress, I would test it, and then I would email Trish from PolyClay Play and tell her, hey, try this, it's good. And then she goes and searches and then orders them so she can um, put it and offer it with PolyClay Play. The advantage is that high choline, the number one, if you buy it from PolyClay Play instead of AliExpress, it's going to be here in at your place in a few days. And unless you buy a whole bunch of stuff at once from AliExpress, the shipping charges are kind of evening out. And you all know that Trish doesn't overprice her stuff. On the contrary, she's about the lowest priced polymer clay and related stuff that I know. That's why I love her to pieces. And she's always really, really good. So as I was saying, with AliExpress, definitely you can buy from AliExpress, especially if you're not in the US. Um, some of the stuff that I'm showing that you can find at PolyClay Play, you cannot get from Amazon. I tried and I looked. So if you're somewhere else on the globe, your best bet would be AliExpress. And the other thing, and I honestly, only one time it happened, it was just AliExpress.com. That's all. And it only happened one time that I had something that was supposed to be delivered within 4 weeks, 5 weeks, and it never came. But to be honest, AliExpress jumped and I got my refund, which sometimes doesn't really matter because it was something that was just $2 or $3, but it was like I needed it, you know. So, yeah, if you don't mind waiting and if you're on a very low budget, go ahead and get them at AliExpress. And to give you a hint on how to find stuff easier, you can use Google image, reverse image search. So if you find anywhere the image of whatever you're trying to buy, save it on your computer. Then you go to Google, you click on images, and then you'll see in the search box on the right of the search box, it's going to be a small camera icon. Click on that, you upload your photo that you saved, and then it's going to bring you a whole bunch of results of photos similar to your photo, and then you look where the photos are, and if you find one with AliExpress, go ahead and find it. And also, when you go to AliExpress, don't jump on the first thing that you find, because there are many sellers and the prices can be different. um and then I had a question about the bracelets. Yeah, you can find a whole bunch of baking blanks on AliExpress that are much cheaper than Amazon. As I said, Trish is bringing a whole bunch of them, but the question was about the bracelets, as in what should I pay attention when I buy the bracelets, because I made that uh, basics of making a cuff, and some people did not seem to have a little bit of confusion when it comes to how to measure, because I said be very careful in the description, and if it doesn't mention the diameter, do not buy it because it means it's very small. I had the bad experience with stuff that I bought from Amazon that did not mention the width, the diameter, and everything that I got that did not mention the diameter was child size. And as I said, I have my wrists are very, very small. And even for my wrists, these things are super tiny. I mean, yeah, they would fit most of the time. Like this one kind of fits. And another thing you need to pay attention to is this. A lot of them have a humongous, just because they are so small, you wouldn't be able to put them on without this humongous gap here. So the diameter is pretty much this from here to here. And when it comes to concave ones, you want to know the diameter from the inside, obviously, not from the outside. But as I said, look at this. It has, the gap is not that horrible, but I can barely put it on. I have to push it real hard to go through. And see how it's too small? It strangulates practically my wrist. And when I move, it's really uncomfortable. Yeah, what I would do, yeah, you could do it. You can save it. I would do either crackle with it or simply um I normally get, because in time they kind of break down. If you don't find one at the local secondhand store, just go to Walmart and get a really cheapo chopper. And get they break down because they are cheap plastic, and obviously the polymer clay is going to attack them. Just crumble the polymer clay in there and put a few drops of clay softener, and then pulse a few times. And then once you do that, then you'll be able to start working it out. Hi, Tina. And oh yeah, another question that I get all the time, and I will talk about all of this in the polymer clay for beginners series. Um, what else can you use to soften polymer clay? Is baby oil good? Is Vaseline good? Well, let me put it this way. Yeah, it will soften your clay, but it will also change the quality of it. It will change the texture. It will sand differently. Thank you, Diana. Thank you so much. It will change the way they sand. It will the polymer clay sands. It will change the way the polymer clay buffs. It's I try to do a parallel. Uh, can you put when you make a custard? Can you use water instead of milk? Yeah, you can. You'll still get the custard because it's about the eggs. But will it taste the same? No. Uh yeah, it depends. I can put stuff under my boobs all I want, but my boobs are cold. Sorry to say that, but it's the silicone. Actually, I had to get used to that because in the first few months after I had the breast reconstruction, I had to learn that it's not a good idea to go out in the cold without wearing something really, um, warm, because when you get breast reconstruction, if you were lucky to get skin sparing, there'll be only like a thin layer under 1 centimeter of skin covering your implant. So, what do you think it happens when you get out in the cold? It feels like you have two frozen wet towels stuck on your chest. Yeah. But yeah, another thing that you can do if you want to soften it, but as I said, I recommend the best thing is the chopper. But another thing you can do to soften it is to put it in a Ziploc bag that closes really good and then put it in warm water a little bit. But that will just warm up the clay. It will not do much for the consistency. Yeah, very old clay. Hey, you can even condition it by putting it in a Ziploc bag and getting a hammer and starting to. That would be pretty much the principle on which the never need machine is. And again, I advise you, if you order from PolyClay Play, save your perk points because it's going to take a while. And like in my case, it took over a year. But remember, PolyClay Play, once you get, I think it was like 1,200 perk points, you get a free never need machine. You only have to pay like $6 for the shipping. Yeah, you can only get a gray one, but who the heck cares about the color? You know, I mean, if I want, I can paint it. Uh, and yeah, that was the other thing. I was got a lot of offers from people to customize my pasta machine to make it pretty and with colors and with flowers, and like it's gonna work better. But see, I'm one of those people that I don't, for example, I don't really care what car I have and how it looks like as long as it takes me from here to there. I have no idea what a sous vide stick would do. Let me check. Let me check what is a sous stick and what does it do. Sous vide stick. Let's see. It's a cooker. Okay. I mean, I know what a sous vide is, obviously. What is sous vide stick? Okay, method of cooking in which food is placed in a plastic pouch. Yeah, well, I know what sous vide is, but what's the stick? I don't want to watch a video right now. So I have no idea what. Yeah, if it keeps water at a set temperature, yeah, that would work. Another thing that you can use is uh, what do you call it? A fondue crock pot, because those only keep stuff warm, not hot. I wouldn't try with a regular keep warm setting on a crock pot. Hi, Rochelle. Uh, but the fondue ones should work good. Now, would it be worth it to buy a fondue pot just to soften clay? That's the question. No, you can just put it under running water if you want. Then never, ever, ever microwave polymer clay. You'd think that that would be a given and not rocket science, but you will be amazed how many people do try and microwave polymer clay. Okay, let me go more through. Okay, about making your own molds. What do I recommend? Well, the easiest, and I did a few tutorials about it, is to do it with bake and bond, especially when it's about textures. You want to use bake and bond better than regular polymer clay because it's flexible and it won't crack. It happened to me many times that, for example, I didn't have bake and bend, not bake and bond, sorry, bake and bend. I did not have bake and bend in the house, and I really, really wanted the texture to make a certain piece. I made it out of polymer clay, and then when I started pressing to get it, the polymer clay texture cracked. Well, uh, that's why I always recommend the bake and bend for doing textures. As for other stuff, again, one of the things that I love to use is the Oyumaru, and I did a tutorial on that. Especially because, okay, I'm dropping stuff here. I'm playing with stuff and dropping it under the table. Especially because you can reuse it. I mean, you just get it warm in hot water, and then you can make, once you got bored of one of the molds you made, you can make a completely different mold. And then of course you can get the about the other ones, the ones special for making molds. Honestly, I did not try everything that's on the market. I will slowly get more and try and maybe do a review. But the stuff that I use the most is the liquid silicone rubber thingy that you have two things and you put it over there. I don't want to get up and get it. Um, let me see what else. What can you use to actually make textures? Pretty much anything. I mean, from spaghetti to oil chains to buttons to you name it. Anything. You can even get one of the cool ways to make more worked. Let me see if I have it here. Textures. There are these itty bitty texture sticks. No, these are magnets. That you can find at PolyClay Play and also, of course, uh, AliExpress and stuff. Let me see if I can focus the camera enough so you can see it properly. My camera thing. See, like this is a ginkgo leaf. And you can use stuff like this because, as I said, she's got a whole bunch and you can find them in other places and they are fairly cheap. You can find flowers, dragonflies, all kinds of stuff that are tiny, tiny. And you just take and you make, pum, 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 pum. And then you make sure it's all flat first. And then you bake it, bake and bend. And there you go, you know. Yeah, I think I tried it and I didn't like it. That's one that I didn't like. To seal clay for using in a water globe, I would honestly recommend the UV resin. That would really ensure that you have, and then hold on, I'll show you what to get. Because you're gonna ask me, yeah, but how do I put that in a UV lamp? Well, you don't have to put it in a UV lamp. You get one of these. It's a UV light thing. And then you're gonna start like I did. I started checking my house. I was like, oh my God, I need to wash the carpet. And I can tell you that the polymer clay bits and pieces, they show brighter than cat puke. Because I discovered that I saw that I cleaned really good, but cats do puke hairballs, and Connor, sometimes if I don't give him he's got a little gel thing that I put on his paw for him to lick. If I don't do that, or if I forget to brush him, he's going to get a hairball. And I thought I had cleaned really good after he puked his hairball, but apparently not. But yeah, so if you get one of these, prepare to be horrified because you think you have a clean house. Try using one of these and all your illusions of having a clean house will be completely dispelled and you'll be not wanting to touch anything before you bleach it out. Anyway, the eraser kits, yeah, but let me tell you something. Yeah, you can get all those eraser things and then get the linoleum scouting tool and all that, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work and it requires your hand is going to get tired. And why sculpt an erasing sheet that's hard and did you have to blah 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 when you can just make a sheet of bake and bend? It's going to be so much easier to carve it and then you just bake it. I mean, and if you really want to do something extra, I think it's like around $100. You just get one of those photosensitive. Let me Let me actually find one for you. It's a photosensitive material and with a special lamp, and you just get like the translucent stamps. You can just make it. Ah, the pictures. And then, of course, you have to make to still buy your sheets, you know. But I'm trying to find the and you can buy vinyl and okay, photopolymer. They are called photopolymer. There are texture plates. And they are used a lot, especially in metal clay. But I'm trying to find something with. And it works pretty much the same way as. It's the same principle as the UV resin. So here is a tutorial on how to do that. Hi, big screen, awesome. Why, it's easier to find the eraser than the bacon bend? And let me see. I think that they have also the material to do that. But generally speaking, I told you it's between $100 and $150 to get the whole setup. Okay, photopolymer plate starter kit. Oh, this is in the UK. So in the UK, it's $26.50. Metal clay, and as I said, you find it more on the metal clay websites. But as I said, if you really want to get professional with it, the easiest way is to get the photopolymer set up, and then you can make your own textures really nice. You can make your own design, and you can make it for others as well. I honestly wish, because for a long time, when I worked at the Air Force Base, I was the um, director's assistant in the base recreation center, and we had a trophy shop, and that's where I learned to do laser engraving, and not just laser engraving, but rotary and all kinds of other stuff. And I became their specialist, and I wish I could afford to get a laser engraver, because those are pretty much the best. Those are the textures that you make on that red or gray rubber, like Ellen Braille or the Cool Tools and stuff. But those are pretty much the best quality textures. But it's expensive. Let me find more questions. Okay. Sorry, I have to go through. I should have done that before. I know. I should have done that before. Oh. Okay. Apparently, a lot of people didn't figure out what I keep using when I'm finishing the pieces. When I'm using this, okay, a lot of people don't understand what this is. This is alcohol. It's 71 degrees alcohol. You cannot really find it everywhere. The regular rubbing alcohol is like 40 degrees. Um, if you don't buy it online, the place where I always find it is Target. They have the over 70. The 40 degrees or lower is not as good on polymer clay, but what happens, and I showed many times, that's why I'm using this, because it slightly dissolves the polymer clay. So when you have two things coming together, if you there's going to be a minuscule little crack there. Okay, so like when you come with the bezel or with the line of the bezel on the pendant. So if you spray some alcohol there and then you rub, the little amount of polymer clay that gets dissolved is going to seep into that minuscule crack and cover it, and that way you'll get a absolutely perfect yeah, if you're in Europe, you'll find more I think it's called spirits. The one with methanol, not the one with isopropyl alcohol. And one thing that you have to be very, very careful about when you're doing the alcohol inks, there's the bloom. Like if you put alcohol on something and then you drop a drop of alcohol ink, it's going to bloom. Especially if you put another drop in the middle, it's going to bloom. The alcohol with methanol will not bloom as good as the isopropyl alcohol. So if you're into doing stuff with alcohol inks, you need isopropyl alcohol. Okay, let me go again through more questions. Okay. And thank you to everybody who's sending me the photo of their creations. Whenever you do, you know that I will feature you on the Kalyana page on Facebook. Okay. Oh, will I work with Cernet? And I said, I say yes, I will. I already have the new metallic, and I already have some translucent and a few other colors. And I'm going to do some of the 4 gemstones I made. Yeah, methylated. Some of the 4 gemstones I made, I will make them also in Cernit. And then I have in plan a new mica shift technique tutorial that would be more encompassing, and also another review. This time I have Fimo, Pardo, Premo, Cernit, and some Kato to compare the mica shift with all these clays. You just take a photo and then you go on my Facebook page, the Kalyana Facebook page. Let me, and you send me a message there. There you go. Yeah, there are a few. Mica shift depends a lot on the clay you're using, and that's the main thing, and also on the blade you're using for shaving, and of course the stamp or texture you're using. Okay, let me check more. And I just realized that I have some dry lips. I had to run the heat so much in the last week or so that even with the humidifier, I still wake up with a completely dry nose and dry lips. Okay. I think that I covered most of them. So if you have any other questions, just send me. Yeah, see, with Fimo, and if you watch the which clay should I pick, I explained that there. Um, for mica shift, the same as for Mokume Gane, you need a soft clay. Fimo Professional is a firm clay. Hi, Joyce. So it will not move as nicely as a softer clay. I would really recommend that you get the either the Cernit Metallics or the Premo. Even the Fimo, and you'll see when I'll make the review what I'm talking about. Even the Fimo effects will not be. Hi, Rochelle, will not be as good. Okay, but you'll still get some mica shift. But it's better. Hi, Marlene. It's better to use a soft clay for mica shift. And it's very important the amount of mica it has in it, because like the old the Cernit Glamour doesn't have a lot of mica in it, so the mica shift won't be that good. The Fimo seems to have pretty much enough. Oh, getting back to questions, I know that was another question. What is the difference between mica powder and mica pigment, and which of them should I buy? Because I showed in a few of the tutorials how you can make your own pearlescent slash metallics just mixing mica powder in translucent clay. Or like I did the tutorial with the metal shift, you can actually mix metal powder like the alumilite in translucent clay. Well, the main difference between mica powder and mica pigment is when you have mica powder, the mica itself is colored. In the mica pigment, the mica is all one color no matter of the different colors you get, but it's mixed with powdered pigment. So when you try to make pearlescent slash metallic clay using mica pigment, you'll get colored clay, but the mica will all be the same, and usually it's a silverish gold color. But when you use mica powder, colored mica powder, then the mica itself will be colored. And with this, for example, I had to try a ton of different things, because sometimes even when they say it's mica powder, it will not be mica powder, it will be mica pigment. And I had to try, gosh, especially for the red, because it's very hard to find red mica. For the red, I think I went through over 2 dozen different things that were all saying red mica powder. and it was either copper or it was mica pigment. And finally I found it at the Nurture soaps, and that's one of the ones that I always recommend because they have mica powders. Even if it's something that's for soaps, they are mica powders, not mica pigments, so the mica itself is colored. Let me give you the uh, direct link to them. And no, I'm not affiliated with them, not at all, but they have a great price. They really have red mica. If you go look for the, like the firecracker. Hi, Crystal. And they put the mica in little jars. So if you want really, really good colored mica powder, that's where you get, and can get. It's a little bit of work to make your own pearlescence, but um Raymond, I would suggest that you go and watch Nick Nimmin or video creators, or even go and look at Creators Academy, because that's the only way you can get to. I think that they do. Let me check. It should be in there. Shipping stuff. But I think that they ship overseas. International shipping. Yeah, they do UPS. International. They do international shipping. Makeup. Yeah, see, with the makeup, some of the makeup is mica pigment. Thank you. But my other issue, yes, some of the, and I said, if you remember, I did over a year ago, I did that no tools pendant in which I actually used makeup. The problem with the mica for cosmetic mica, and you can get cosmetic mica from American Body Art, and they have great micas and glitters. And you can also get the small samples. But find it. Other cosmetic mica sellers, they will not give you small. You can only get large quantities. Mica powders. Okay, there you go. And I actually did a review on the American Body Art mica powders. The thing with them is that they don't really get baked in the clay. Okay, I can help you reach the block. Okay, there you go. I'm nobody's bro. So the thing is that most of the cosmetic micas will not stick to the clay even when baked. So sometimes it's even a hassle to varnish them. But let me give you the link to the American Body Art review I did, because I did some. Let me get you the link directly to them. And oh, it's one of those that They come in lives to get the people who are part of the live to go subscribe to their channel. But the thing with American body art, and they have beautiful glitters, is that you can buy 99 cents sample bags, and they actually have quite a bit of stuff in them. See, like this glitter. And actually, it's not even a glitter. It's what they call a sparkler that's in between, a size between a glitter and the mica. And this is from their Elements collection. It's the one called Spirit. And as you can see, they have all kinds of iridescence. They have beautiful glitters and micas and everything. Okay. So that's the main difference between a mica powder and the mica pigment. In the mica powder, the mica itself is colored. In the mica pigment, you have the same color of mica, but pigment. And one of the best things that can show you exactly what I'm talking about, if you go to the Premo violet pearl, you see that the clay itself is fuchsia violet, but the mica in that clay is blue. So yeah, you can get your own. If you use a pigment and differently colored mica, you can get that effect by making your own pearlescent. So let me see if there's any other question I did not ask answer. No, I think that's it. And for the people who have asked about the kitties, yeah, I hope to. I started trying to tape from time to time so I can make a new video with them. But they are all good, and Whisper's good. He finally stopped asking about rubs. He's right here. And I'm still working on my organizing, but I told you I do need another shelf to be able to do. But I managed to do to make his own. Yeah, mica, to make your own pearlescence, you mix the mica in translucent. That's how you make your own pearlescent or metallic or metal powder like the alumilite. But I have, for you to see how you mix it, let me, I'll give you the link to the metal shift I did because it's pretty much the same. And you can see here how to mix it. There you go. I honestly, I don't like perfect pearls a lot, and never use perfect pearls to do your own pearlescent because the grain is so big. I prefer the Pearlex, but the perfect pearls is the only one that bonds with the clay when baking. Pearlex doesn't. So you'll need sealing. Oh yeah, and the other thing, because I did get some questions about the satin varnish, because I mentioned it when I did the Morning Glory pendant. How how does that work? Why do I have to stir when it's a satin? Well, I said it in passing. All those little ingredients that make a varnish. I'm getting dry throat too. A varnish satiny instead of glossy usually fall to the bottom, and you need to stir really good. Otherwise, your varnish will still be glossy. Doesn't ring a bell, so I don't think I did. Let me look them up real quick. But I do know that I have some that I want to get some stuff. I have some companies I want to get some stuff. Yeah, I was looking at another company that has this exact thing, but I would have to do. But see, these are pigments, and I have it on my list to do some experiments with chameleons and color shift and stuff. But I still have a lot of stuff to do before that. So we went over an hour here, and I need to go rest a little bit. And I hope to see you all tomorrow. Remember, it's 12:30 Central Time, and that's GMT minus 6. And we will do the pansies, a pansies project. I already have the pansies baked. It's the same flowers that we did last Sunday. Now we are going to do something with them. Okay. So I'll see you at the next monthly chat if nothing else comes in the meantime. And please follow my Facebook because I post there almost all the time all kinds of updates and advices. And I post a lot of crafting memes that are funny. Okay? Yeah. Okay, let's hope that I don't lose power and will be able to do the live. So I'll see you all tomorrow and happy claying.